All right, welcome everybody. This is Pliny Letter 1.9. Remember, this is when we just read the very first paragraph of, so it's going to be a short one. All right. It is miraculous, incredible, yeah, how the account, that's actually the subject, for single days in the city either stands firm, holds up to scrutiny, yeah, or seems to stand up to scrutiny, seems to hold firm. And I got to use ratio twice. The account for multiple days, lots of days, does not hold up, does not stand up to water, or does not hold water, does not stand up to scrutiny. For if, and this is really ollie qui, don't forget before C, nizzy, numine, all the ollies drop away. For if you ask anyone, if you should ask anyone, this can be a should, would conditional clause. For if you should ask anyone today, what did you do? What'd you do today? He would respond. Notice that present subjunctive, he would respond. If you should ask him, he would respond. I was present at I completed the office of a toga virilis, the duty of a toga virilis. You went to that ceremony. I frequented betrothals and weddings, probably wouldn't go to both in one day, probably just, engaged on one day, not married the same one. That man asked me, you're gonna have to use asked me every time. So that man asked me, rogawa is really your verb, may is really your direct object, to sign his will, that's to be his witness for his will. That man asked me into advocation, into the to advocate for him in the court. That one asked me into his counsel, into his advice. Remember, that's like a legal term to be someone who kind of sits on the lawyer's seat for him. On the day which you had, these things is the subject. These things, on the day which you will have done them, seem is all the way down here. If you remember, this sentence a little bit confusing, and I kind of mapped it out for you at the bottom of your notes. So these things, on the day which you will have done them, seem necessary. Now, I would have put a semicolon here, but he did not. These same things, if you should think back that, now you're in an indirect question, indirect statement. That's why te is accusative. That's your accusative subject, and fekisse is actually your verb, but it's an infinitive. So those same things, if you should think back that you had done them daily, would seem inane, would seem empty, would seem pointless. Yeah, and that's another should, would in there. If you should think back, reputes is a present subjunctive, they would seem inane, empty, pointless. All the more, and then this is a cum clause, this is a circumstantial cum clause, when you have retired. That's a perfect subjunctive. It's a cum clause with this subjunctive in it, but remember, it's a circumstantial cum clause because giving the circumstances. The circumstance, given the circumstance that you retired, it would seem all the more pointless. For then, like at that time when you'll have retired, the reckoning, the account for your days, yeah, will kind of sink down, will sink in, will mean something. How many days did I waste? Like in pointless matters, in trivial things. All right, that was a short one, but hopefully you got it. I will see you next time.